You that tornado warning is because we do have a new tornado warning in effect. What we're looking at here is velocity, so showing you the winds in the atmosphere here, and we've had the history of a large violent tornado out in Hopkins County. Now the good news is at this point, because the that storm merged with a squall line, it's not the same storm anymore. The storm kind of got eaten up, but there's still definitely some areas of rotation as this squall line moves your way. And so that's the reason why the tornado warning has been extended. That storm has had a history of producing tornadoes, and even though it's kind of meshed with another complex of storms, it can still certainly produce a tornado. So this is one of those tornado warnings where it's hard to pinpoint an exact area of a really good rotation. We had it before over there, kind of near Rochester, but definitely not looking as impressive here. But where you get those little, you get kind of like these bulges, and you get these dips in the line. And this again is showing the winds moving towards the radar site here, and where you get those dips, and where you get some of those comma features, that's where you can get maybe some of that stronger rotation. So over there near Rochester, Silver City here, we do have the potential for a tornado producing storm very, very close by. So if we go back to radar here, Davis, for a second, Doppler radar, I should say, looking at the actual reflectivity, you can see that, again, the storms are starting to make their way into Butler County here, where we do have the tornado warning in effect, and it actually still continues over parts of southern Muhlenberg County as the storm is starting to exit Muhlenberg County, but we haven't been given the all clear just yet. So Silver City down to Quality over there towards the Sugar Grove, and as Davis mentioned before, Warren County, we're not too far away from this, and even if the tornado warning does not hold, we're still likely looking at very, very strong winds as this cluster of storms moves on through. And you can actually see this area outside of the warning here, if you can kind of zoom the map down or move the map down a little bit, Davis, moving into Lewisburg, we're likely picking up some of those very strong winds. As again, you can see it right there. That's the leading edge of the storms here. That's like cold air, and it's even actually trying to spark up another thunderstorm. But with these storms, the general speed of them, you're not going to get too many additional storms to try to pop up ahead of the main line before they get absorbed here. So it's really just, I mean, we're dealing with some pretty significant winds here as these storms continue towards the southeast here. And it looks like when we see the flashing, we know that means there's an update on the tornado warning. So what's the latest on the Butler County tornado warning?
So they are continuing that until just until for another 12 minutes until 10:15. Capable of producing a tornado located 9 miles east of Dunmore, moving east at 55 miles an hour.
Okay, so we continue with that tornado warning, and the National Weather Service right now, they are, I mean, they're doing some serious work, and they are really doing a good job of keeping us updated on these warnings. They're giving us frequent updates, which we can rely to you, the public, and kind of break things down. I mean, they're the ones who issue the warnings. We do not issue tornado warnings. But when they do issue them, obviously we relay them to you. So we work with the National Weather Service all the time to understand a little bit more about how their system of issuing tornado warnings works. And when you know that, and you see these warnings come up, it's an indication that we work together as a pretty good team, even though we're not all in the same building here. So we are again watching this tornado warned storm. This is for southern Butler County. Here is Logan County. Here you've got that severe thunderstorm warning that continues for the next 30 minutes here. This line is continuing to expand more to the south here. So we're just past 10 o'clock, and the nastiest storms have not quite reached the Bowling Green, but they have certainly moved on in to the viewing area. And if you are again just south of Morgantown, even if you're in Morgantown, I mean, if you feel the need to be in your safe zone, in your tornado zone, not necessarily a bad idea. Whatever makes you feel really comfortable. And if that means you got a severe thunderstorm warning and I just want to go to my tornado safe spot because that's where I feel the best, then go there. There are really no rules when it comes to that. You just don't want to be by windows, or of course you don't want to be outside. So hopefully, for any of us that are outside of any of these storms, we've got those electronic devices on charge. Maybe you have a flashlight that has good batteries just in case we do lose power. And speaking of that, have you found out anything about power outages?
I did, yeah. There's, I mean, across the area, it looks like mostly west of I-165 is where most of the power outages are that we're seeing. The problem with it, though, is because we had that initial line of storms earlier this morning, that ended up knocking out quite a bit of power, so it's a bit difficult to see who exactly, which storm impacted when. But I mean, I'll just read off a few numbers here. Logan County, just a little under 3,000 people without power, almost approaching half of Todd County without power. Christian County, about 5,700 people without power. Hopkins County, again, half of the people without power. One other thing I think is worth mentioning, David, I just checked the Kentucky Mesonet, and I believe that the storms are now really starting to ramp up even in those severe thunderstorm warnings. We had a recorded gust of 71 miles an hour, and that was located in Muhlenberg County.
Okay, 71 mile per hour winds with the storm in Muhlenberg County. So yeah, that tells you the power of this storm. And we got the tornado warning again. I want you to focus in on this part of Butler County. If you're just tuning in right now, you're wondering about the 10 o'clock news. Well, this is it. We are covering the storms as they are moving through the area. Southern Butler County, we do have the tornado warning in effect. And this is the same storm that initially started all the way over into Caldwell County, continued through Hopkins County, Muhlenberg County, and is now still producing a tornado possible. You can see this started off as that supercell. It got eaten by the line of storms, but we still have some rotation in here, and the rotation may be shifting around, so we could have a funnel clouds maybe dropping in different areas if we do have funnel clouds in there. Obviously, it's hard to get any good visual reports at this time of a night here, but regardless, if you are in that tornado warning just south of Morgantown, you want to remain in your safe zone until the storm passes. All of us really need to be in a good, safe location over the next couple of hours just because of the intensity of these storms. So you can see we've got very heavy rainfall in Quality right now. Potentially the rotation right there. If we can really zoom in to this area of Butler County, there's Morgantown there. The storm will likely pass to your south here, so South Hill and over there towards Silver City, so into Leetown and Youngtown. Please be in your safe zone right now. We do have the tornado warning in effect. Potentially enough rotation here to prompt a tornado, to actually allow for a tornado to develop here. But those strong winds that are rushing out of these storms are definitely going to continue to allow for other discrete areas of rotation. But it does appear that we've got the strongest winds close to that tornado warning there in Butler County, but now we have another warning in effect for Todd County. So if you're in a Sharon Grove right now, this is north of Elkton. What's the latest on this one here?
So this is in effect until 10:30 p.m. So just for the next 21 minutes here, tornado was capable of producing a tornado was located about 5 miles north of Elkton, moving east at 30 miles an hour. And you know what, actually, let me switch this back over just to the standard radar, because I think that might be one of those independent storms, and it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So
so that's certainly what we are seeing here. Can you let's really zoom into this. So Sharon Grove right now, please be in your safe zone. New tornado warning out in effect. Certainly have some rotation in here. When you see this like a kidney bean look, I mean, this probably not the best way to describe it, but when it has kind of that nudge there, that's where you have probably some of that rotation. And so around the community of Claymore, need to be in your safe zone here as this tornado warning storm has developed. And Davis, put it into motion for like the last 15 minutes or so. I kind of want to see the general motion of this.
I'm going to zoom out just a touch here so we can.
So yeah, you can kind of see how this originated from the south. It's going to get sucked into this main line here, but Sharon Grove need to be in your safe zone right now. We do have a tornado warning in effect for your part of Todd County. I mean, again, you're going to see how this is over the span of 15 minutes here, so it's going to look like it's like rapid fire here, but what's probably happened is that because of the cold air rushing out ahead of this main line, it's allowed this storm to briefly pop up, and there's enough rotation in there because the storm's trying to ride along the boundary. It's getting some rotation in there, and that's likely what we're dealing with. I mean, this storm will eventually be overtaken, but we do have a tornado warning in effect for northern Todd County. Sharon Grove, please be in your safe zone. Interior closet, bathroom, as many walls between you and the outside. No windows. You want to be away from windows. And if you have a basement, even better. Or if you just need to be at the lowest level of your home, that's going to be the safest place to be. So we do have this tornado warning in effect for northern Todd County. It appears we do have another severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that actually does include Warren County, Simpson County, and also parts of Butler County. I want to get back in on that tornado warning in effect for Butler County. Of course, we're watching two now. We have one for Todd County, and we also have the other one in effect for Butler County. Sugar Grove, be in your safe zone right now. Storm is coming your way. We probably have some of that rotation in this general area right here, and I think that's what the National Weather Service is seeing, and I think that's the reason why they continue with that warning. That little bit of nudge, that little nudge that you were seeing on radar before on reflectivity, certainly an indication that we probably have some of that rotation. It's actually showing up a little bit better here on velocity. So between Sugar Grove and Silver City, the storm is just off to your east right now. Sugar Grove, please be in your safe zone. We could be looking at a very strong storm here and potentially a tornado, and we may be dealing with those severe wind gusts in excess of 60, even 70 miles per hour. So this, again, is south of Morgantown, heading over towards 165, and it's not looking too bad on the velocity scan here, as we're looking for the greens and the reds kind of like dancing around each other, and that's what they're basically doing here. So as we continue to track this storm, it is moving pretty quickly here. We don't have the warning in effect for Warren County, but that could certainly be changing here. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect that was just issued for all of Warren County, but as we continue to get more scans on this tornado warning storm in Butler County, we'll get a better idea if the warning will likely be issued for Warren County. But you can see on the map here, 8:18, next 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes for you in Sugar Grove. Greencastle, if you're out in that area, we're giving you about a little over 10 minutes before the storm heads your way. Again, we just have a severe thunderstorm warning out here in Warren County. BG, Bowling Green, about 10:34. So we're looking at around the next 15 minutes. Now, the thing is, these storms are picking up speed, and you can, again, kind of see the comma feature here, and that's where you have really some of those strong, violent winds. And again, looking at this little nudge here that has this little notch, I guess I should really say, that has showed up on a radar. That's pretty close to the Sugar Grove community right now. So please be in your safe zone here. This storm, it started as one lone supercell storm that actually had a tornado emergency on it. Seems like a few hours ago now. But it merged with the main squall line that kind of overran it to the west and is now still holding together enough to produce a tornado warning. It's the squall line combined with still some of that rotation that we basically had from the initial tornado warning that is keeping the storm going here. So we definitely have a lot of shear in the atmosphere. And so Sugar Grove, please be in your safe zone. Again, Greencastle out there in the Warren County. Here we go. We got an expansion on the tornado warning. It does now include you in Greencastle. Oh, phones are going off here. And also into Bowling Green. So we are watching this area right here. We do have a tornado warning that is now in effect for eastern parts of Butler County and basically a good portion of a northwestern Warren County. This does include parts of Bowling Green, especially areas on the west side of Bowling Green. So we're watching this storm. It is about to cross over 165. It's had the history of producing a tornado, and just looking at how we're not getting really the best look on velocity here, but just looking at this right here, you can see this is likely where we do have a tornado about to approach the 165 corridor. So again, friends in Greencastle, get in your safe zone right now. Interior closets, away from windows, as many walls between you and the outside. Lowest level, it's going to be your safest place to be. We are at 10:15 right now, so you've got a little bit of time here. You got about 10 minutes in Greencastle, about 15 into Bowling Green, and I'll let you read off some of the details, Davis, about this latest warning that we do have in effect.
Yes, so we have, for the tornado warning that is now in effect for southeastern Butler County and northwestern Warren County, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Morgantown, moving southeast at 40 miles an hour. Again, we've got the times that are estimated as to the arrival for when it should be here. Now, keep in mind, do not wait until this time exactly. You want to be there in your shelter ahead of time, even with these strong winds that are pushing through. 10:16 at Woodbury right now, Rockland in about 4 minutes, Riverside 10:22, Greencastle 10:26, Richardsville 10:27, Bowling Green at 10:30. Moving into Plum Springs just after 10:30, and then if it holds together down into Polkville and Smiths Groves about 10:40 p.m.
So this storm right now is located near Woodbury, and is now a little bit farther south of Morgantown. You can see along the 165 corridor here. So again, our friends out there in Rockland, Greencastle areas, a little bit northwest of Bowling Green. Those are the areas that are a little bit closer to the storm. You don't have as much time, but even here in Bowling Green, we got about 10-15 minutes. So just get to your safe zone. If the kids are in bed, get them up, get them in your safe zone as well. Obviously, do this as calmly as possible. Sometimes kids actually can do better during tornado warnings if they have their blankets and their pillows, and you kind of turn your tornado shelter into a nice place for them. I know before I left at my house, we had our little tornado area set up, and the pillows and blankets were already there, ready to go, just in case. And so it's always a good thing to keep in mind. We also have another tornado warning. This is actually kind of well outside of our area here. This is in northern Hardin County, so that's more over there towards the Louisville area. But let's get back down to the we've got 2 tornado warnings right now, and I don't want to forget about this one out there in Todd County. We still have this tornado warning in effect for Todd County. It looks like the main line is probably taking this one over here, so we're dealing with some pretty strong winds. Davis, if you can potentially get our camera maybe in Russellville, and before you do that though, can you pull back to this warning here just a little bit more
Sure.
into Warren County again? You can see the polygon. It does include places like Greencastle as well as Bowling Green. So we're watching really kind of this area right here. We're getting that notch. That's indicating winds kind of flowing into the storm here, getting that wraparound. So that's probably where we have the best rotation. But this comma feature, I talked about this morning. Anytime you see kind of like a comma look, and that's the general direction the storm's moving, that's where you have some fierce winds here. So we're likely starting to see some very strong winds out there into Russellville. There's a chance, Davis, though, our cameras might already actually be down. That's the unfortunate side effect that we face when the storms move on.
We do actually have it here.
Oh yeah, no, this is great, fantastic. So this is a look outside in Russellville. Starting to hear the thunder here at our studio But this is in Russellville. You guys are not under a tornado warning. You're just dealing with the potential for winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour as the storms continue to move on into the area. So that's what we're looking at right now in Russellville. Just want to give you an idea of how strong these winds are. That is outside of the tornado warning. You guys just have a severe thunderstorm warning. But as we continue to hone in on this storm, we'll stay with radar for this area right now because the storm is getting closer to Bowling Green. So we still have some rotation. If you can flip back to velocity and make sure that we're using, I guess the Fort Campbell radar is going to be our best option.
Yeah.
So right here, this area right here is where we probably have our best rotation indicated, just outside of Sugar Grove and over here into Greencastle. If you're in the Greencastle area, if you live around there, seek shelter. If you're in Bowling Green, of course, you can see here's Bowling Green. If you're in Bowling Green, you have a little bit of time here, but these storms are starting to pick up speed here. And so this rotation will end up down closer to Bowling Green really within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So make sure you're in your safe spot right now in Greencastle. Hopefully nobody's deciding to travel up 165 because not only have the potential for a tornado nearby, we've just got blinding rain, we've got some pretty vivid lightning out there, and of course we're also dealing with the potential for strong damaging winds. So our latest warning, again, this covers portions of northern Warren County from Bowling Green all the way up into Greencastle, and areas a little bit farther to the east, not quite under the warning, but that could certainly be changing. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado. This is part of a storm that once was producing a large tornado farther to the west, and then it kind of got merged with the squall line that continues to move on in. But we've got plenty of shear in the atmosphere, and we still have the potential for a tornado. Here's the Riverside community. So let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's keep getting some more towns here. So here's Sugar Grove. The storm's passing you to the south. So Rockland, Greencastle right here. You want to be in your safe zone. We've got some of the rotation right here, and that's normally where you're going to have the potential for your tornado. And this is starting to pick up some more speed, and you're likely dealing with some pretty strong winds over there towards the Rockland area right there. And so we still continue to see this rotation here just outside the community of Rockland. So I urge you right now, remain in your safe zone if you're over there in Greencastle, the Barron River area as well. Got a lot of towns that kind of pop up here. Let's keep zooming in a little bit more. Let's see if we get any extra towns to pop up, because I don't want to miss anybody. Over there towards the Hadley area, that is just off of 165. Be in your safe zone right now. And of course, if we kind of extend farther to the south, eventually we'll start getting into the north end of Bowling Green here. So we still have a little bit of time. If you're in Bowling Green here, please be in your safe zone. I'm sure there are some folks that have actually been at the shelters maybe for the last couple of hours. I know folks just in the event of a tornado watch, the shelters are open and you can seek shelter there. We don't have really a whole lot of time left because these storms are starting to pick up speed. I'd advise you, if you're in a home, if you've got a good location where there is a storm shelter, or at least you have a basement or an interior closet, that's going to be the best place for you to be. Let's chat about this update on the warning right now.
Let's take a look here as it's coming in. They're going to continue that for Warren County until 10:45. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 9 miles northwest of Crestmore, and it's moving east at 45 miles an hour.
So over there into the Blue Level community of Bowling Green, just on the west side of town, also really northwest Bowling Green in general, we do have that tornado warning in effect. We've got some it looks pretty broad, but again, we're scanning the storm a little bit higher here, so there's definitely rotation in there. So if you're in Greencastle, if you're in the Barron River community, and if you live close to a 165 on the western side of Warren County, you want to be in your safe zone right now. Delafield, just outside of Bowling Green, and even Plum Springs. Okay, you're not quite in the warning, but just be mindful that this storm is moving towards the southeast here. So if it still maintains that rotation, and the National Weather Service thinks that it's still producing that possible tornado, it's likely that the warning is going to be expanded further east of Bowling Green. Of course, this is getting us along Louisville Road here. Here is the city of Bowling Green. Most of the city is under that tornado warning, and just heard our phones go off before, so that's a good sign that the emergency system on our phones working pretty well for us. Now, you can see areas like Rich Pond, Memphis Junction. You're not quite under that tornado warning, but again, this storm is continuing to move on in. Let's flip back to reflectivity here. I like to go back and forth just because sometimes it's a little easier to use one product versus the other. I can tell you the winds are probably very strong right now over there into Greencastle and the Barron River community here. And that's just because this line is bulging out. Now, if you move a little bit to the north on the screen here, we could certainly still have some of that rotation again up here towards the Greencastle area. There's still a potential just because of the way the winds are flowing. We've got some rotation in there. So again, stay in that safe spot. The worst of the weather is moving into Greencastle as we speak, and even if it's not a tornado, we've got high winds here. We've got those winds that are kind of creating this bulge here, this lump basically on radar. That's an indication of some high winds moving faster than the rest, and so that's causing this area to just kind of like bulge out as it heads over towards the Greencastle area. So into Riverside right now, I mean, it's coming down at a pretty good rate. We've got some pretty intense rainfall, probably a little bit of hail in with these storms, but really it's going to be the wind and the potential for isolated tornadoes. So let's make sure we're also not missing anything out on this storm. And looks like that warning expired in Todd County,
which is good. I am looking. It looks like this is a delayed report. This was from just before 9 p.m. We did get a report in from the emergency manager out of Hopkins County of a tornado about, let's see, damage to around 20 homes in the Charleston community north of Dawson Springs. So these storms, while that storm is, kind of now meshed in with this other storm that is starting to make its way off to the south and east, this is still, while it's mainly a wind threat, we can still have tornadoes for sure. In fact, actually, I do want to pull up the Russellville camera. We're starting to really see the flags in the downtown area really quite blustery, and lots of even some branches down in the...
Yeah, so you can see the flags they have up. I think they have extra flags for the Memorial Day weekend here. Yeah, it's certainly coming down as the strong winds move on into Russellville. Of course, we're watching that part of the storm. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning really for this entire area, but we are also obviously honed into this right here as we're getting another scan of this storm as it continues through Warren County. You're going to really keep an eye on this for you because Bowling Green is in the warning and the storm is getting closer and closer here. But this, like Davis was saying, this same area of rotation actually produced a tornado near Dawson Springs. So this has had a history of producing tornadoes, but now that it's at a point where it's no longer a single storm here, we're getting some notches within the squall line, and that's where some of those areas of rotation are able to develop. So again, over here towards the Greencastle, we've got some of that rotation here coming up on 9:30 right now. So in Greencastle, that's where we do have still some pretty strong rotation overall as the storm continues to move towards the southeast. It's likely we'll have maybe an update on a possible warning coming up here for other parts of Warren County, but we're really starting to feel the wind here. So let's get up that one of our Bowling Green cams, especially, yeah, let's get to the one that you can actually turn and kind of face it a little bit more to west and northwest. So we're trying to look out in the general vicinity of that storm. Of course, the potential tornado, I should say, is still kind of up in this area, but we can maybe get a look outside right now. So okay, that's looking towards the east here. So or actually that's kind of looking more a little bit to the north. So let's kind of swing this around just a bit more. Well, I can't really swing it around that way. Got to turn it the other way. Regardless, we're probably not going to get the greatest view just because it is night mode here. But here's Russellville Road here, and you can kind of see the trees. Yeah, you can see the wind starting to really streak down Russellville Road. The winds are kind of blowing. This is blowing in from the west here, so this is blowing towards the northeast in that direction, and so this is kind of looking towards the southwest. And so you can see that right now, yeah, we're dealing with a bit of an impact from this storm as it moves into the area. We're likely dealing with those winds, possibly 60 to 70 miles per hour, and we are under that tornado warning that continues in Bowling Green, but the area of more significant rotation is still a little bit farther to the north. So again, this is a live look outside. You can see the trees in the foreground there, a lot of lightning here. Let's get back to radar and get an idea of what we're still looking at, if there have been any additional warnings put out. But that clearly gives you a good shot as we look outside, kind of scan the skies, because there's no better look than just getting a live look at a radar. So here is the latest look. It looks like, yeah, we still have the tornado warning in effect for Bowling Green here. And
I'm going to clean this radar up just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little. So we still probably have this area of rotation around Greencastle, but there's also an area of rotation maybe developing just outside of the city of Bowling Green. So even though we had this area right here, potentially another area just north of the city, and we do have the warning that does continue here. That's just based on me eyeing radar here. If let's go to the velocity again. Let's try to get an idea. Sometimes it's really hard when you're dealing with these lines of storms. Yeah, there could be a slight amount of rotation just outside the city of Bowling Green. I really think we're facing those strong, damaging winds on the order of 60 miles per hour, even a little bit stronger than that. But we are under the tornado warning, and that does continue until 10:45 here. So we potentially have a little area of rotation that we're watching around Bowling Green. Right now, of course, we're getting walloped by the winds as they are really howling through town. Again, just not the best look at velocity here, still detecting some of that rotation just outside of the Greencastle community here. But the entire Warren County, all of Warren County, much of Warren County is currently, I believe, I guess, yeah, all of Warren County, I should really say, is under that severe thunderstorm warning, but we're still watching this area of rotation around Greencastle. And of course, we've also got maybe some slight rotation just north of the city. Let's go back to reflectivity here. Let's keep it on reflectivity because right now it's not getting the best look at velocity here. So yeah, when you see some of those little notches, that's indicating where you may have a little bit of rotation here. So there could be some of that right around Bowling Green, and still potentially around the Greencastle area as these storms are really moving fast. They're really moving fast towards the east and southeast. And you can see areas further to the south do not have a warning. We don't have a warning in effect for areas like Woodburn and even over there towards Rich Pond. So just south of Bowling Green, you're kind of on the fringe of this warning, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. So we're getting close to decision time on this tornado warning. We'll have to see if it is extended here, but the storm is passing through Greencastle, Bowling Green right now, especially the east side of town, although really all of Bowling Green right now getting engulfed by that really heavy rainfall, those very strong winds, 60, maybe 70 miles per hour. Again, please be in your safe zone here. We continue with that tornado warning that goes basically for the next 9 minutes here. The storms are really racing through northern parts of Logan County here. We're likely dealing with power outages. So hopefully if you're watching us on maybe your tablet or on your phone, that still has a pretty good charge if you've lost power, because that's one thing we always want to remind you: when the weather is nicer during a part of the day, that's a good time to charge up some of those electronic devices. So we're still monitoring this tornado warning until the winds are ripping outside. Let's get another look outside, Davis.
Yeah, we'll swap
So
that over.
we can get
There
back
is
to
just
that.
torrential
We
downpours.
still have this warning still in effect for Bowling Green right now, as we're dealing with some very, very strong winds out there, and you can kind of see the trees out there in the distance. At night, I mean, our camera kind of gets blurred a lot. This is a very good camera here, but I mean, it's hard to see much when you've got all of this this rain out here. We've got the strobe light effect going with our lightning